Number 2 will now come to order. Please pause for a moment of silent meditation. Okay, I will now call upon Councilman Patoka to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Patoka. Is there a motion to approve the journal for the meeting of January the 3rd?
I'll move it.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. The meeting of the journal is approved. Enrollment of bills. There are no bills for enrollment this evening. Mr. Secretary, will you now read all bills for introduction?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Bill 3-22, Current Expense Budget Code Enforcement Program. Bill 4-22, Current Expense Budget Emergency Rental Assistant Program 2. Bill 5-22 is sponsored by Councilman Crandall, Zoning Regulations, Uses Permitted in the Manufacturing Heavy Zone. And Bill 6-22 is sponsored by Councilman Patoka, Emergency Measure Tenant Protections During a Catastrophic Health Emergency.
Okay, the council will now consider all bills for final reading and vote. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
First, Mr. Chairman, is Bill 105-21, the Clean Energy Loan Program.
Mr. Seth Blumen.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and County Council. Bill 105-21 amends the county's Clean Energy Loan Program. This program allows property owners to finance certain energy, water, and efficiency improvements through a private lender with no upfront cost to the property owner. In return, the property owner repays the lender through a loan surcharge on their real property tax bill. The Clean Energy Loan Program is a state-based program. However, this state-based program requires local enabling legislation because of the local tax bill financing component. In 2016, Baltimore County enacted such local enabling legislation with Bill 63-16. The county serves only as a program sponsor to facilitate loan repayment by including the surcharge on the county real property tax bill for the property. The county may not finance nor fund any loan under the program, nor incur any liability for a loan. During its 2021 session, the Maryland General Assembly amended the state's Clean Energy Loan Program with the passage of House Bill 517, which expanded the purpose of the program to include providing loans to commercial property owners to finance certain newly eligible projects. Bill 105-21 amends the county's existing loan program to include the changes enacted by House Bill 517. Specifically, the bill adds water efficiency, environmental remediation, and resiliency projects as eligible and financeable projects, in addition to the previously eligible categories of renewable power and energy efficiency. The bill also revises the amount and duration of the loans and makes other minor revisions. The bill adds two new types of eligible projects. The first is any construction, renovation, or retrofitting of commercial property that is intended to remove environmental or health hazards, including projects that promote indoor air and water quality, asbestos remediation, lead paint removal, and mold remediation. The second new type is any construction or renovation of property that is intended to increase the capacity to withstand natural disasters and the effects of climate change, including flood mitigation, stormwater management, a project to increase fire or wind resistance, a project to increase the capacity of a natural system, alternative vehicle charging infrastructure, or energy storage. On December 20th, 2021, the council approved a contract with Maryland Clean Energy Center to develop, promote, and administer the Clean Energy Loan Program for owners of county commercial properties. Maryland Clean Energy Center administers the program at no cost to the county. Any administrative costs incurred by the county are reimbursable through the surcharges on the borrower's property tax bill. Bill 105-21 will take effect 45 days after its enactment. And commercial property also includes residential dwellings with 4 or more dwelling units. If you have any questions, you can take them now.
Any questions or comments from the members? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 105-21.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Bill 105-21 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next bill is Bill 106-21, Current Expense Budget, Cities for Financial Empowerment Fund Implementation.
Yes, Director Leonard Howard.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. Cities for Financial Empowerment, a nonprofit organization, awarded Baltimore County a total of $79,500 in grant funding earlier this program year. Back in June, this council approved a supplemental appropriation of $75,500 of the award. The purpose of this action is to appropriate the remaining $4,000. The grant funds are used to support the integration of financial education and banking options into its summer youth employment program, which we are currently working to expand to a year-round employment program. In partnership with Maryland Cash Campaign, the funding will be used to support 3 steps for banking access for our youth. 1, to educate youth about the benefits of banking and how to safely use accounts. 2, to open safe non-custodial accounts. And 3, to educate youth on regularly and safely using their account, which can be facilitated by direct deposit. Happy to address any questions the council may have.
I do not. I know we had this conversation before, and I guess like to add, always good to see you guys go into credit management and the importance of credit too. Are there any additional questions or comments from the members?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Councilman Quirk.
Yeah, no, just really briefly, I know this is a small amount, but I think it's great. I mean, financial literacy is so important in this country. And I know the Cash Campaign, they really do good work out there. And so I think this is clearly an easy one. Just wanted to recognize the department and think that, yeah, this is good stuff. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I think Councilman Quirk, I don't think we do enough in the area of financial literacy.
Amen.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Councilman Patoka.
just for the sake of clarity, it's the Cash Campaign, CASH, not KACH.
Okay.
Although I'll take credit for it.
Thank you.
Any additional questions or comments? Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 106-21.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Bill 106-21 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Bill 107-21, Current Expense Budget, Emergency Management Performance Grant, American Rescue Plan Act.
Chief Wyckoff.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. The administration is requesting a supplemental appropriation of federal funds totaling $81,176 to the Emergency Management Performance Grant Program, specific to the American Rescue Plan supplemental. The department will use the funds to maintain and upgrade technology in the county's emergency operations centers, as well as purchase technology to enable the county's hazardous materials team to effectively respond to bioterrorism events. This is a 50-50 grant that requires a soft match of $81,176 by the county. This match is met by investment in the 911 center through annual telephone fees. Therefore, there is no additional financial requirement to the county, and there is no future encumbrance. Happy to take any questions.
Any questions or comments from the member? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 107-21.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Bill 107-21 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Bill 108-21, current expense budget, immunization and vaccines for children.
Mr. Lawrence Richardson.
Good evening, Chairman Jones, members of the council. The administration is seeking a supplemental appropriation of $4,487,134. This is from the Maryland Department of Health, a pass-through from the Federal Department of Health and Human Services Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to support our COVID-19 vaccination implementation activities. Baltimore County Department of Health and Human Services will use this funding for our vaccination staff, our medical and operational supplies for our vaccination clinics, and that is including our homebound program for our residents that cannot come out to our vaccination clinics.
Okay, any questions or comments from the members?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Councilman Quirk.
just super briefly. I mean, these last three issues are voting on, about as easy as I've ever seen. I mean, these are great things. They make a lot of sense. And I think it's just a reminder for the council, a lot of things we do are perfunctory or almost administrative to a certain degree. Things such as these supplemental appropriations, but these are obviously very worthy things and so necessary. So I'm just glad to easily vote on. The last three are incredibly easy to support. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome, Councilman Quirk. And I tell you, just a reminder that COVID is still here. And we're still in this battle and we're still fighting. And I've been very happy with the responses that we've had. And just a quick reminder, starting tomorrow, everyone can get a free COVID test. COVIDtest.gov. You can go online, order it. Matter of fact, I think some people told me they were able to get through today if they had
Yes, sir.
an Apple phone, but if they had an Android, they couldn't. Either way, tomorrow, 4 free tests for every American. All you need to do is go online and put your name and address in there. So you're right, Councilman Quirk, this is important stuff, and we're still here in the middle of this battle. Trying to do everything in our power to keep people out of long lines and be responsive to the citizens. Any questions or comments from the members? Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 108-21.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Bill 108-21 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Bill 109-21, current expense budget, COVID-19 public health workforce supplemental funding.
Mr. Lawrence Richardson.
Yes, sir. Again, the administration is requesting a supplemental appropriation amount of $2,933,961 for our COVID-19 public health workforce grant. The Maryland Department of Health is awarding this funding through the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. This is to provide additional relief to address the continued impact of COVID-19. Baltimore County will use this funding to hire additional positions to support Baltimore County's response to the COVID-19 pandemic, while also coordinating efforts to collect data and information to improve program effectiveness and plan for future responses. The county will provide $1 million of this funding to Baltimore County Public Schools wellness programs, and they will use that to hire additional staff and train school nurses.
Whew. There's certainly a nursing shortage in this country. Are any questions or comments from the members? Okay, this war in COVID is not cheap. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 109-21.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch, Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Bill 109-21 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next bill is Bill 110-21, sponsored by Councilwoman Bevins, entitled Zoning Regulations Signs.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
Bill 110-21, specifically, the bill permits a sign for one property to relocate to a sign to a new or existing sign on an adjacent property, regardless of the ownership or control of the adjacent property sign, provided with a written lease agreement between the sign location property owner and the adjacent property owner submitted with the use permit application. And the reason for this bill, it was a wonderful opportunity for me actually to be involved with this. There was a new Holiday Inn Express that's being built up off of Philadelphia Road. It is been built, it's going to be owned and operated by Baltimore County resident. Actually, they're in David's district. And this will employ local folks, and we'll have more rooms now for our tourism efforts when that happens. And basically, this hotel, you can see, sits up on a great big hill on 43. When you look to the left, there it is. But when you can only get to it by Philadelphia Road. You can't get to it by 95, and you can't get to it by Route 43. So once you go down to Philadelphia Road, there's no Holiday Inn Express sign, and you cannot see the hotel. So people wonder, well, where did the hotel go? My GPS is sending me here, but where did the hotel go? So it was necessary for them to have a sign, and they tried everything. Even the state had a little piece of property that they were hoping they could lease or own, and that didn't work out. So the wonderful people at Tickham's, who are the neighbors to the hotel, said that they could do a sign on their property, but it has to be a joint sign. So they have agreed to do that. So it's a win-win for everybody. And for those of you that think this may not work in your district, this is only for signs located within 1 mile of the Cowlington Ebenezer Commercial Revitalization District. And I hope I'll have your support.
Thank you, Councilwoman Bevins. Any questions or comments from the members? Mr. Secretary, please call the roll, and we thank you, Councilwoman Bevins, for your efforts on this issue.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Bill 110-21 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Thanks, everybody.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman, Bill 111-21 was withdrawn before the meeting. Next is Bill 112-21. This bill is sponsored by Councilman Catch, entitled Planned Unit Developments, Extension of Time for State of Emergency.
Councilman Katz?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this legislation would extend the life of a PUD for a half a year. The individuals who are wanting to build an assisted living facility on this property because of COVID have been delayed and need more time to work with a company that's interested in locating in Hunt Valley. So I would move the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Katz. Any questions or comments from the member? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 112-21.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Thank you.
Ayes have it. Bill 112-21 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Bill 113-21. This bill is sponsored by Council members Marks, Bevins, and Jones, entitled Backyard Chickens.
Councilman Marks.
Okay,
Take it away.
thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'll just condense what I said at the work session. Increasingly, families are raising backyard chickens on their properties. They like the benefits of organic farming. healthy food, and often parents use the raising of chickens to teach responsibility to their children. This legislation puts into a process whereby people can raise backyard chickens on their property, creates basically a scaling system, and allows for people who have properties less than an acre to raise chickens. This whole issue has been discussed for the better balance of a decade. The planning board looked at this issue. You've heard from testimony from a lot of the advocates. I think the bill lays out a very good system for enforcing this, and also provides some additional safeguards. And I know Mr. Bostwick has an amendment for me that kind of responds to some of the concerns we heard at the work session.
Thank you, Councilman Marks. I know we had an awful lot of people testify, and we've been dealing with this issue for quite some time, so I appreciate your leadership on it. Councilwoman Bevins, you have any comments?
No, I just think it's wonderful that we have finally moved on with this. Thank you, Councilman Marks. I know that you met with a lot of chicken folks as well. I think the first person that ever spoke to me about chickens was Jay Pelham. How about for you?
Oh yeah, Jay. Yeah, I can't remember. It's been so long.
Yeah, I think we've been really thoughtful about this legislation because, the reason we didn't do it in small yards is, quite frankly, we still have some rodent issues in Baltimore County, and that mainly lies between very dense neighborhoods that have alleys. And we know that this would just be one more issue for rats to stay, to have another food source. And we didn't want that. So not to say that won't happen later if we have the rat eradication program, works and finally gets rid of, I don't think we'll ever be rid of all the rats, because I would like everybody to have an opportunity to do this if they could. But I'm glad that we have finally passed it. And I know, and y'all know I've talked about it. My daughter has chickens, and it is a wonderful thing for a family. I get excited when I visit to go see them and run around the yard with them. And I do benefit from the eggs. So happy chicken, nice eggs. So thank you, Councilman. And I know that the chicken people are all clucking tonight.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for sure. I can tell you, I know real fast that a gentleman that lived around the corner from me, I remember he had 3/4 of an acre, and he had chickens all the way in the back of his property, and everything was great until one day he gave eggs to the neighbors. Until one day someone complained, and he missed the cutoff because he had 3/4 of an acre, not 1 acre.
Oh, yeah.
Code enforcement came in and made him get rid of the chicken. So, any additional questions or comments from the member?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
So just some information. And I never thought that I didn't really have a position on chickens, but through this legislation and through my colleagues, I've learned about chickens. And my next door neighbor has chickens, and one of them, the nicest one, is named Hey Hey. And so I'm going to vote in the affirmative to support Hey Hey today.
All right. Fantastic.
Mr. Chair?
Chickens and midgets, all sorts of stuff on this job. Yes, Councilman Catch?
Yeah, I have a couple of amendments, or is it proper time to bring them up?
No, we're going to get to them, Councilman Catch, one at a time. As soon as we finish all the general discussion, then we can get to the amendments. Why don't we start, Mr. Secretary? I'm not sure what order you have the amendment, but let's start with the first.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Councilman Crandall here. Thank you, Mr. Chair. While we're making our general comments on the bill, I have to say that I've really wrestled with the bill itself and the amendments that I've seen. And I do appreciate the years-long lobby that the advocates have been undergoing for, as my colleagues have said, years now. I also also appreciate Councilman Marks and the other co-sponsors for finally addressing this. However, I just wanted to explain before we got to votes on amendments and the bill itself is that my district is a little bit different. And if you look at the areas that are part of the rat eradication program, which we had to fight some time for and have lobbied every year since to keep funded, and the fact that even though the bill calls for this to only be able to occur in detached homes, which aren't part of our or aren't normally part of our rat eradication program, I just feel that this bill is a step wrong in the direction and may take away some of the progress that we've made on the issue of rat eradication in the 7th district. So I just don't feel that the concept works for the 7th district. So I will vote respectfully no on the bill this evening. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Crandall. Any additional questions or comments?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, if I may, one more comment is that most of the neighborhoods that are in the rat eradication program are highly densely populated row home and townhome communities, and that does not alleviate the rat problem that we have in our single family dwelling neighborhoods in the 7th district. So I wanted to get that point in there as well. And those particular houses are generally not do not fit the criteria for the rat eradication program. So just adding fuel to my argument there, and thought I would get my feelings out about it. But I did struggle with it. I really did. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sure. Did you have a comment, Councilman Marks?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, and this is not directed back at Councilman Crandall. I just forgot to do this. I believe the administration is supportive of the bill with amendments. Can I ask Ms. Rogers if that's the case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. And
Sure.
thank you, Councilman Crandall, for your explanation.
Let me just add one more thing. You know, we have a lot of tongue in cheek on the bill. It's very serious to some people who really want to raise chickens for the eggs and what have you. Let me just say this. I don't think this is the type of thing that you're going to have some massive amount of people running out buying chicken. Okay? The reality is eggs are probably as cheap as you're ever going to get them from the big box stores. $3 for 36 or whatever it is. I don't think this is something people are going to do just for the eggs. But there are some people that really want to do this. And if you care about personal freedoms, all we're doing is saying to those people, if you really want to do this and you want to buy a chicken coop and raise chickens to get your own fresh organic eggs and have a pet, then by God, we're going to let you do it. Because right now we had this arbitrary line of 1 acre, you can do it. My neighbor around the corner, 3/4 of an acre, you can't do it. And all we're doing here is being responsible by lowering that amount and putting some stipulations on it, like other jurisdictions that have this type of legislation. You can't have roosters because of the noise and things of that nature. So I think that this is, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I really don't. And I think thanks to you, Councilman Marks, you listened to the concerns that people had, you made some amendments that I think will address them. And on this note, why don't we get to the first amendment, Mr. Secretary?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The first set of amendments, as Councilman Marks alluded to, just provide some more safeguards that the bill already contains. The first amendment would require the director not to issue or renew a license if the location of the property that is the subject of the license is part of the county's rat eradication program at the time the application or request for renewal is submitted. The second would also require the director at their discretion may revoke a license, not require, but it would give the director the ability at their discretion to revoke a license that is issued if the license holder receives 3 or more final order code violations related to the provisions of this new subtitle or the new section 418 of the county zoning regulations in a 12-month period, and requires the director to consider the nature and severity of the violation in making that determination. The third amendment would be that the number of hens and the minimum land area that is now being codified for less than an acre would not be able to be reduced through a variance. So if you have 8,000 square feet, for example, you couldn't ask for a variance to when the minimum is 10,000 square feet. And then finally, related to the free range and run area, it would also, the setbacks that are required for the free range and run area also could not be reduced through a variance. And that is similar to existing language that does not allow a variance to reduce the setbacks for the actual coop location. And those are, I believe, the sum and substance of the amendments for Councilman Marks.
Okay, any questions or comments on the amendment from Councilman Marks?
No, if there's no discussion, I'd like to move the amendments.
Okay,
Second.
then moving and seconded, Mr. Secretary, call the roll on the first 3 amendments submitted by Councilman Marks.
Yes, sir. I believe it's 4 actually, but yeah, yes, sir. Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
No.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk.
Aye.
The ayes have it, the amendments have passed. And I believe there is another amendment.
There is, Mr. Chairman. There's actually 2 more amendments. Both are submitted by Councilman Catch. They're 2 separate amendments to be voted on separately. The first, in addition to the amendments that you just passed that gave the director of PAI the ability to, at his or her discretion, revoke a license for the 3 or more code violations, the amendment offered by Councilman Catch would add a little more to that as well. It would say that the director shall revoke a license issued under this subtitle if a license holder receives 2 or more final order violations of Article 12, which is the animals article, Title 3 of the Baltimore County Code, which is related to animal welfare within a 12-month period.
Councilman Catch.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. When we spoke about this bill last week, I did express concerns over the well-being and the care of the hens. And basically what this amendment will do is, if there's 2 violations issued by 2 or more violations issued by animal control, this would automatically remove the license. I just think that will help protect the hens, and also hopefully the people that own the hens will, whatever training or whatever they're doing wrong, that issue will be resolved. But if they still refuse to take care of the chickens properly, this will take away their license.
Any questions or comments from the member?
I have one, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we talk a little bit about due process on this amendment? Just a little, want to understand that a little better when it comes to this amendment. Just trying to really grapple with it. Anyone?
Councilman Catch?
Yes. So
I guess the issue that Councilman Quirk is raising is, you're saying 2 violations, automatic, you lose your license. Where does the due process come in for the person that maybe these violations are minor? And
well, if you get a violation, of course you can appeal that violation in the county system. So there's already a process in place so that people can, in essence, air their differences with animal control. And we're not talking about one time, we're talking about 2 times. So obviously, if the violation is found by the county administrative system to not have any validity, then it certainly wouldn't count. So that would be the due process, whatever due process is in place right now for code infractions, et cetera.
Now that 2 violations in a year, whatever.
12 months.
Any additional questions or comments? Councilman Mark?
I mean, the only thing that I'm concerned about is that someone has a really minor issue with the coop, and maybe this is a little too strenuous. Councilman Catch, would you be willing to accept a friendly amendment to make it 3?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's a little more, gives a little more flexibility.
Yeah, 3 strikes, you're out. We like this.
What do you, Mr. Chairman, you think that's appropriate?
I mean, I'm okay as long as I guess I like may and put it in the hands of the director better than shall, but I can live with 3. I guess don't want some minor infractions to end up resulting in us taking somebody's license. And then because we care so much about the chickens, we took their license. So now the owner must dispose of the chickens.
Yeah. I think that's
So,
a good compromise.
You know, what are they going to do with the chickens?
Guess they'll rehome them.
Or
cook them.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
I think I just said it.
I'm just saying.
But I'm just basically very concerned about how people treat animals. And I just want to make sure that if we have somebody who has been found, in essence, to have been mistreating or not caring for these hens properly, and I think we've given them enough opportunity to change their ways. And that's, I think those of you who know me know that I am very concerned about how we treat our animals, et cetera, or in this case, hens. So that is my reason for doing this. And I think the 3 strikes are fine.
Well, let me add one thing, Councilman Cat. From what I understand, if these hens are stressed out, they won't lay eggs.
That's right.
If they're not being treated properly, they're not going to lay eggs.
And then you'll probably have them neglected even more if they're not producing any eggs. So I just don't want this to be a problem.
Okay, we changed it from 2 to 3. Any questions or comments?
I'd like to move for adoption of that amendment.
Okay, it's been moved. Councilman Cat.
Thank you. Second.
Call the roll on the amendment to 3 violations.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall? Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Ayes have it. That amendment passes. And Councilman Catch, I understand you have another amendment, Mr.
Yes.
Secretary?
Yeah, there is one more amendment, if I may, Mr. Chairman. The final amendment offered by Councilman Catch, as the bill indicates, one can have hens with a minimum of 10,000 square feet. And there's a graduated system. I think you can have 4 at 10,000 square feet. You can have 6 at 20,000, 8 at 30,000, and 10 at 40,000 square feet. Mr. Catch's amendment would install a minimum square footage of 25,000 square feet and allow 5 hens at that square footage or above, and then the other parts, 8 at 30,000 square feet and 10 at 40,000 square feet would remain in place. So the minimum would be 25,000 square feet instead of 10,000 square feet, and one would be able to have 5 hens and not instead of 4.
Mr. Chairman, I've really been thinking about this proposal quite a bit, and 10,000 square feet is less than a quarter of an acre. Less than a quarter of an acre.
Councilman Cat,
Yes.
if I can add, a quarter acre is 10,800 square feet.
That's
So
it.
10,000 is less than a quarter. Right. Go right ahead.
Yeah, less than. Yeah, less than. And the house we currently live in is on a third of an acre, of course, which is larger than a quarter. And I don't think that our particular piece of property is suitable for to raise hens. I just don't. And I've talked to some of my neighbors and they agree. What this amendment will do, if you have property that is over a half of an acre, then you would qualify for 5 hens, and then the progression that Councilman Marks has in his bill would continue. You all know that any community association, any condo association can put in their covenants that hens are not allowed in the community. I mean, it can be done. There's nothing to stop a community from doing that. So I think that by allowing fewer hens, the people objecting might not be as outspoken or pushing for the total elimination of the possibility of any hens. As I said, we have a third of an acre, and to me, the third of an acre is way too small. And I think for less than a quarter of an acre, I mean, I think that is really pushing it.
Thank you, Councilman Cat. I apologize for interrupting me. I heard you wrong. Councilwoman Bevan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess I'm going to have to disagree with Councilman Catch. I think maybe because of the district that you represent, most homes are on much larger lots. In Eastern Baltimore County, a 10,000 square foot lot is an ample lot, a very nice backyard for a home and front yard. And I think that I think we're getting away from the fact that people that want chickens, for the most part, like our chicken caucus, okay, they know how to build a coop. They know how to feed a chicken. They know it needs to stay warm. They know when they have issues, when hens are picking on other hens and their feathers are coming off. They know when they have to put extra things in the yard for them to pick at. People that want these chickens are going to play by the rules. Yes, we're going to get people that just say, oh, I didn't know I could have chickens. And let's just hope they do their research on how to build a coop and how much time they need out of the coop. I think this is just watering it down too much if you start limiting less than 5 chickens to 10,000 acres. I think that the average home in my district, I mean, we have some smaller, some bigger, but that may be an average. And I think that's really gonna not allow a lot of my constituents who want chickens to be able to participate in the program.
Okay, Councilman Marks?
Yeah, I agree with Councilwoman Bevins. I just think this kind of defeats the purpose of the bill, which was to broaden the number of people who could have these chickens. We're not allowing them in townhouses. I think we should be enlarging the number of people who can actually do this practice.
Mr. Chair, I think that even with the amendments, it does expand the number of people that will be able to have chickens. Obviously, if it's over an acre now, this says over anything between a little over a half acre to an acre. So, I mean, it is a major step toward allowing people to have hens. And of course, in the future, if this works extremely well, it can always be changed. But I understand what Councilwoman Bevins is saying, that possibly some of the single homes in her district could be on 10,000 square feet, which is less than a quarter of an acre. So I understand what you're saying.
Right. And I'm afraid that by doing that, and I don't know who would agree with me, it's saying that if you're not wealthy enough to have a home on a large enough parcel, you can't have chickens.
Yeah, I've heard that, but yet I think that Baltimore County has there's all kinds of there's all kinds of opportunity to buy property in Baltimore County, affordable and very expensive. Now I know the real estate market is really bad these days. People aren't selling, but I think normally people would be able to buy a smaller lot and a larger lot, I mean, and house the chickens. But I'm going, Mr. Chair, I'm going to withdraw the amendment because I do understand what Councilwoman Bevins is saying. But I don't want anybody to think that this amendment doesn't allow any extra hens to be raised in Baltimore County, because it does not. It still increases the possibility of raising hens.
Thank you, Mr. Patch.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Any additional questions or comments on Bill 113-21 before we call a vote? Councilman Quirk.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to acknowledge Councilman Marks for leading on this very, in the past, super controversial issue. For 11 years now, we have been lobbied intensely by the pro-chicken group. But believe me, we've heard very vehemently from the anti-chicken caucus as well. And believe me, they're out there. I would say I have maybe a third of my district that strongly support chickens, and maybe a third that really don't like them for many different reasons. But I will give credit as well to the county exec's office, because in the past we've had department heads that have been strongly opposed to this in the past, but under the new county exec and the administration, they've shown a real willingness to look at this issue. And quite frankly, I thought the amendments that were proposed and passed tonight were very good amendments that make this even a better bill. And so I will be voting for it, and let's see how it goes. And if we need to make changes in the future due to something that we're not calculating, something that's unforeseen, well, we can look at that as well. But I did want to commend Councilman Marks for really grappling with this one, because this for many, many years was not an easy one. And I thought the bill was well written. I thought the amendments really made it better. So that makes this bill a lot easier to support. So I just wanted to put that out there. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilman
Thank you.
Quirk.
Thank you all. Yeah.
It certainly has been an issue over the years. I just feel like all the amendments are good, and we can make adjustments if it doesn't work. But I'm convinced that the people that would do this are going to be responsible, and they're going to do everything right because they worked so hard to get to this point. I'm sure they're not going to mess it up. At least I certainly hope. Any additional questions or comments? Is there a motion to approve Bill 113-21?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded.
As
Mr. Secretary,
amended.
call the roll on Bill 113-21 as amended.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
No.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
No.
Mr. Jones.
Aye. Ayes have it. Bill 113-21 is, as amended, is passed. The council will now consider all fiscal matters. This testimony was taken at the council's work session on July 11th. The witnesses who testified at the work session are available to restate their testimony if needed. If the council member has any questions regarding a particular fiscal matter, that item will be discussed as a separate matter. I'll now call upon the secretary to read the cover letter for fiscal matters 1 through 9.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Fiscal matter 1 is a contract with CEG Solutions LLC for reduction of energy consumption and savings associated with energy maintenance costs. Fiscal matter 2 is amendments to contracts for overhead door services. Fiscal matter 3 is a contract with Project Chesapeake LLC for drug testing and treatment services. Fiscal matter 4 is an agreement with Alcohol Monitoring Systems Incorporated as part of the ankle bracelet monitoring and reporting service. Fiscal matter 5 is a contract with Bureau Veritas Technical Assessments LLC for the compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act design standards. Fiscal matter 6 is 6 contracts for housing counseling services. Fiscal matter 7 is a contract with EBA Engineering Incorporated for on-call potable water pipeline design services. Fiscal matter 8 is a contract with DACO SCI Incorporated for corrosion control design services. And fiscal matter 9 is a contract with KCI Technologies, also for on-call potable water pipeline design services. Fiscal matter 10 was withdrawn prior to tonight's meeting.
Okay, any questions, comments from the members? Is there a motion? Let me see, wait a minute.
Baby, go somewhere.
Is there a motion to approve fiscal matters 1 through 9?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on fiscal matters 1 through 9.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Fiscal matters 1 through 9 are approved. We'll now consider our miscellaneous business. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
Mr. Chairman, whenever a contract over $25,000 is awarded by a process other than formal competitive bid, it is required that a copy of the contract be given to the county council and the nature and parties to that contract be announced by the secretary at the next legislative session following award. There are 4 such agreements this evening. The first is with Real Tox Labs LLC, doing business as Real Diagnostics, for COVID testing services, $201,810. Next is a purchase order with Baltimore Gas and Electric Company doing business as BGE for the upgrade and installation of gas and electric equipment at 20 Dogwood Drive, $43,930. Next is a purchase order with Clear Channel Outdoor Incorporated for purchase for billboard advertising for solid waste. The award total is $38,000. And finally, a master agreement with Comcast Holdings Corporation, doing business as Comcast Cable Communications Management LLC, as part of Comcast Essentials prepaid voucher program. This award total is $1,386,012, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Any questions, comments from the members? Hearing none. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Resolution 2-22. This is a resolution for the council's consideration to approve the county's contribution toward the purchase of certain development rights easements on properties that are listed in the resolution.
Yes, Director Steve Lafferty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the council. The administration requests the council to approve county's contribution to the purchase of 8 agricultural easements to the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Foundation's FY21 easement cycle. The administration requests the council to approve $1,319,553.55 in matching funds for the purchase of 8 easements on 551 acres of land. The total cost of easements is $3,993,394.88, with the state funds making up the difference. All of these farms are outside of the ERDL within Tier 4 areas and within the 2020 master plan delineated agricultural priority preservation areas. And if there are any further questions, Mr. Chairman, I have Megan Benjamin, who's head of the program, who is here to answer any questions. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Any questions or comments from the members?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilman Katz.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the administration and the members of the County Council for your support over the years of the agricultural preservation program in Baltimore County and other preservation programs, which has brought us close to preserving 70,000 square miles of farmland, agricultural land. And we had a goal for 2022 of 80,000. And I just have to give a lot of credit to everyone, because I think for us to reach 70,000 is great. And I think as the years go on, this is something that we're going to look back on and say, boy, we did the right thing. We've saved 70,000 acres, and more than that, we've saved prime and productive soil, which is great for growing crops. So again, I want to thank the administration and thank the members of the council for your support over the years. Thank you.
I certainly agree with you, Councilman Katz. Thank you for your comment. Any additional questions or comments? Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
There is one amendment, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Amendment light is blinking.
The amendment, it's really technical in nature, Mr. Chairman. The resolution has a chart that lists the easements and the mouth file number, the acreage, the amount of the easement offer, and the county's contribution. The 7th listed property owner, it has an amount of easement offer of $556,110.80. That's really a misprint or a typo. It's exactly the same as the one above it, and it was just reproduced incorrectly. And that should be $312,532.50. So that's the amendment, Mr. Chairman.
I'll move the
I'm sure
amendment.
that person didn't have a problem with that.
Second. I guess not.
I guess
I'll move the amendment.
100,000. What's a couple of 100,000 here or there?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, call a roll on the amendment.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Ayes have it. The amendment to resolution 2-22 is passed. Mr. Secretary, any additional questions, comments from the member? Hearing none. Mr. Secretary, let me see. Is there a motion to approve resolution 2-22 as
moved. So moved.
Second.
it's moved and seconded? Mr. Secretary, call the roll, please, for resolution 2-22 as amended.
Yes, sir. Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Resolution 2-22 as amended is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Resolution 3-22. This is a resolution requesting the County Council to adopt the Baltimore County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Chief Wyckoff? Chief Wyckoff?
You're muted, Chief.
Sorry, turned the camera on and forgot the microphone. Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. The administration is requesting the adoption of the multi-year hazard mitigation plan. This is a comprehensive evaluation of the risks and hazards and mitigation projects for Baltimore County. The plan was recently, just last week, approved by FEMA pending adoption. The plan is required by FEMA to be completed every 5 years, and the adoption of the plan allows the county to be eligible for several federal mitigation projects that address flooding and resiliency projects throughout the county. And I'm happy to take additional questions.
Any questions or comments from the member? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve resolution? No, is there an amendment to this resolution?
There is no amendment, Mr. Chairman. I think it's worth probably noting that for everyone listening or watching, especially for the diehards, that this is not listed on the council's agenda because it was actually introduced and is being voted on this evening because of the necessity that it be approved before the end of this month, so that the administration can and is eligible for, that mitigation funding. So it will be listed on the agenda following tonight's meeting, but due to circumstances, it is not listed on our agenda, but it is being introduced tonight and voted on.
Any questions or comments?
Can I just ask, is this this is really unusual, correct?
What?
To just introduce something and vote on it in the same night?
Yes, it is.
I mean, it really deprives people of the right to examine, to question, I've been on the council for almost 12 years and I can't recall this sort of thing happening very much.
And that's correct, Mr. Marks. It does not happen. If it was a bill, it would not happen. But it being a resolution, not that a resolution is not as equally important, but but we are not under the same limitations as a resolution. So you are correct.
Just like to note, I would just like to note, Mr. Secretary, that he didn't mention this was on a prior agenda, which was posted on the website with a different number. It's the same exact item that was withdrawn by the administration and just brought back with a new number. There has been no changes.
That's true. That is also correct. It was originally introduced on December the 6th and was supposed to be voted on December 20th, but was withdrawn prior to that time. So it is coming back in the same form and fashion.
Okay. Any additional questions or comments? Okay, and let me just add one quick thing on the bills. If we use emergency legislation, we can do it all in one day. Just trivia, just in case you ever end up on jet. Any, let me see. Is there a motion to approve the resolution 3-22?
I'll move it given the special circumstance.
Second.
I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Resolution 3-22 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Mr. Chairman, the next item is Resolution 4-22. This is a resolution sponsored by Councilman Jones, yourself, and would authorize the continued review of a planned unit development known as Dogwood Village for introduction only this evening.
Thank you. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Next is Resolution 5-22, sponsored by Council members Crandall and Marks. This resolution is related to the Maryland General Assembly's consideration of potential legislation related to or involving the Man-O-War shoals for introduction only this evening.
Okay, next item, please.
Next is Resolution 6-22, sponsored by Councilman Catch, a resolution to authorize the continued review of a planned unit development known as the Heights at Hunt Valley, also for introduction only this evening.
Next item, Mr. Secretary.
And the final item, Mr. Chairman, is Resolution 7-22. This is a resolution for the council to consider whether to approve the continuation of the local state of emergency that will be voted on at the February 7th legislative session.
And as I understand, they'll make an evaluation prior to that to determine whether they want to move with.
Yes, sir. This is really a placeholder so that the council can consider it at the next meeting, if necessary.
Ms. Rogers, did you have a comment? You were mute.
I was just gonna say, yes, sir, that was our position. We want to look at the data to see how things are going, but procedurally, we wanted to follow the process appropriately.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Secretary, is there any further business to come before the council?
There is no further business, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned. As is customary, anyone who is registered to speak online prior to the meeting is allowed 3 minutes to speak. I understand we do have some speakers. Ms. Belcastro, you want to call our first speaker?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Chairman. I apologize. I'm going to have to leave the meeting. I have a town hall meeting with my police officers in the district that is already late, so I'm going to have to leave. I apologize to everyone. I hate doing this, but I thought we would have been done earlier. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Mark. We'll bring you up to speed.
Thank you.
Ms. Belcastro, first speaker, please.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. First speaker is Kim Beard. Ms. Beard,
Yes, hi, Chris, thank you.
you're welcome.
Good evening, Chairman Jones and council members. And you're right, Councilwoman Bevins. We have been clucking away and we're excitedly clucking now. My name is Kim Beard and I support Bill 113-21 concerning backyard chickens. I joined the 1,600 plus others that signed the Baltimore County Chicken Caucus petition that supports this effort. We're so appreciative to Councilman Marks for introducing the bill and to Councilwoman Bevins and Chairman Jones for their support. Thank you to the council members who voted yes on this bill. Obviously, we're passionate about this topic The Baltimore County Chicken Caucus is a group of residents that has done a lot of research on best practices from reliable sources to provide educational services for residents that want to keep chickens, but either do not or cannot own an acre of land. There's no reason why only upper middle class or wealthier residents should only be able to raise chickens. Bill 113-21 represents significant compromises and truly takes into consideration what is best for our neighbors, for our community, and most importantly, what is best for the chickens. I live in Lutherville here with my husband and my 2 teenage daughters. Grew up in Reisterstown and went to school in Catonsville, and I currently work in Windsor Mill. My grandmother raised a small flock in her backyard in Randallstown in the late 30s and 40s, right off of Church Road. She had 7 children, and those chickens helped to feed all those kids and kept them busy. Backyard chickens now are not your grandma's flock, with secure feed containers and adorable pet names like Hey Hey. Some coops even have ring cameras and chandeliers. Backyard chicken owners are wonderful pet owners, just as most cat and dog owners are. With the provisions in this bill, including setbacks and cleanliness responsibilities, families will enjoy chickens as pets and learn so many life lessons. Raising a small flock represents a rebirth of connecting to our land in an environmentally friendly way. This effort supports Baltimore County's master plan to create a more sustainable community. Thank you so much for your time and your positive vote. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Beer. Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Certainly, Mr. Chair, our next speaker is Chelsea Armstrong. Moment. Ms. Armstrong.
Yes, hi. My name is Chelsea Armstrong, and I am also here in support of Bill 113-21. First, I wanted to take a moment again to thank Chairman Jones and Councilwoman Bevins for their support in sponsoring this bill. And thank you to Councilman Quirk and Councilman Patoka and for your support for Hey Hey. And I especially want to thank Councilman Marks, even though he's not here, for taking the time to listen to us and work with us every step of the way to make this bill a success. I wanted to take a few moments to first introduce myself a bit further before I speak directly on the topic of chickens. You've heard from several of my colleagues from the Backyard Chicken Caucus in the past, and after listening on all of these different sessions and silently screaming at my computer screen, wait, no, there's more, I figured it's my turn. So a little about myself. I currently work at a local church in the county as a graphic designer. Before that, I worked as a corporate senior graphic designer for a large commercial real estate firm that had over 40,000 employees, all while completing my master's in graphic design through night classes. When I first began talking about my love for chickens, many friends and family were surprised. You see, I grew up in Baltimore County for the majority of my life, and then I moved to the city in my 20s and was there for the majority of my 20s. I then moved back out to the county, purchased my first home on my own when I was just 27. And so my friends and family were surprised because, like many others, there's this misconception that chickens equate to the picture of Farmer Joe. Get on your overalls and hand me a pitchfork or a shovel. Well, no disrespect to Farmer Joe, but owning chickens does not mean you have to own a farm or a large amount of land. And that is just one of the many misconceptions we hope to change with the caucus. More about that later. So back in December 2020, after months over months of remaining puzzled as to why we were not allowed to have chickens under an acre, I finally decided to do something about it. So I reached out to a group on Facebook and have been blessed and amazed as I have been surrounded by an amazing group of people. We come from all walks of life, some in government roles, some in education, some in communication-based roles, just to name a few. Some are better public speakers, some are not, like myself. But we all have had a part and a role to help get our mission across and to get noticed by you as the council, as well as the public. So just a reminder as to what our mission is. Part of that mission was accomplished here tonight, is that we were hoping to seek and secure changes to the Baltimore County Code so that a requirement for a minimum of 1 acre of land is no longer a barrier. And that the county adopts those common sense, factually informed laws regarding the keeping and raising of backyard chickens. And we think Bill 113-21 solved both of those needs. and we're proud of it. But we don't want to stop there.
Ms. Armstrong, I'm
Yes.
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but you're at your 3 minutes. If you could wrap up your comments.
Absolutely.
Thank
So
you.
my main point is we don't want to stop there for the Backyard Chicken Caucus. We want to continue to promote education. As we continue to speak, we're working on educational courses with CCBC. We're continuing to try to provide educational resources through our website, providing videos. We want to work with you with the council and continue to work with you. And we will continue to make this bill a success for us, for our neighbors, and thank you.
Ms. Armstrong, thank you so much for your testimony. I have to tell you, I'm wiping my head because when you said we don't want to stop there, I'm thinking, oh my God, what next?
By that,
Iguanas? I don't know. No, but listen, we certainly appreciate your testimony. And it is look, it's one of the many stories that we could teach all our children about civics. In terms of people coming together with an issue, they're petitioning their government, educated us, they taught us, and now today it has come to fruition that we are okay in the raising of chickens on less than a quarter acre. But it would not have happened had it not been for your advocacy, Ms. Armstrong and Ms. Beard, and everyone else who has educated us and convinced us over the years. So we appreciate you very much. Ms. Belcastro, I understand we have another speaker.
One more speaker this evening, Mr. Chair, Preston Snedegar. Mr. Snedegar?
Couldn't get in.
Sir, did you want to testify? We're calling upon you to testify.
Couldn't get in.
You're in.
You hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can, sir. That's
Yeah.
why I called your name.
Okay. Because I tried to get in this computer system. The computer didn't work. Codes didn't work. It was a mess. I asked for help earlier and didn't get it. I got some. But I have just one correct question. Kathy Bevins, are you going to be attempting to run for office in 2022?
Sir, this is not a Q&A. This is a testimony only for 3 minutes.
I know that you have the right not to answer. She doesn't have to answer. There were some major problems that went along with this residency thing. Okay, when you make laws, you're a fine group of people doing a great job. But when you start being the people that break the laws and there are no consequences, the term hypocrite comes to light. I see it quite differently from you. I respect people. I respect hard work, everything going with it. But all the issues related to Kathy Bevins was self-inflicted. She did not do due diligence. Okay? She was told about it when she had 2 applications to run for council. Okay? Where is accountability of the individual within your organization? Again, a question you do not have to answer. Okay? I'll tell you an answer. It has to be to the courts, because I know it has to go to circuit court to a judge for something to be done. And the way they do your paperwork and did who could declare a vacancy and all this is so antiquated, doesn't make any sense. But it's up to you to fix it. Okay, you can have that changed. Hopefully, I'll help you fix anything. I'll move a mountain if you want it moved. But I don't like hypocrisy. I have 3 grandchildren. I want to build a better Baltimore County, and I'm going to damn well do it. That's all I have to say, short and sweet.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for your comment. Well, any additional speakers, Ms. Belcastro?
No, Mr. Chair, that is all the speakers for this evening.
Yes, that'll do it for tonight. We certainly appreciate everyone. We appreciate our all the people who spoke tonight, Ms. Beard, Ms. Armstrong. And if there's no comments from any of the members, we will adjourn.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Be safe.
Good night.